One game down in groups A and B. And do we have TSM, Sentinels, Renegades on top? No, we got ESA Black, My Little Phonies, and of course, we also have Kanaka's Pets, which is a crazy outcome, girl, coming into game number 2.
Absolute surprise to all of us watching and casting, but it was a super amazing game. There were some really rough rotations, as Tom said earlier, that they weren't sure if it was between staging or train station. So the teams like TSM, for example, they went through Harvester, and if they went towards train area, they would have had a completely different outcome. So it's really hard to predict these zones. Sometimes you just got to make the tough call. And honestly, excited to see the next game.
Yeah, that's right. Obviously, Sniped getting taken out early as well did not help their scenario, and that makes it difficult. Obviously, these rotations are everything. Those split-second decisions on where to rotate and when, how quick to rotate, can be the difference between life and death. But you got to give kudos to the unsigned teams. Kanaka's Pets, MLP, My Little Phonies. I've been a big fan of Kanaka's for a long time. Former competitive Halo player, also came from the Gears of War scene. I've had my eye on Kanaka, and here you have it. Huge start. The man coming from Honolulu, Hawaii, alongside his two teammates from Greenville, Michigan. They start strong with 17 points in second place right here, right now, as we load into game number 2. Quick reminder for every single one of y'all watching how the point and scoring works. For anyone that's maybe new to watching competitive Apex, we have 12 points awarded for a first place finish in these games. Obviously, there's 6 games total. 1 point is awarded for each kill that you get, and that's uncapped. So if you get 20 kills, that's 20 points. If you get first place, that's 12. That's a 32-point game. At the end of the 6 games, we'll see which teams are on top of the leaderboards. And also keep in mind the overall format, girl, which you're familiar with. 4 groups. Top team from each group will advance in points after 3 days, round-robin tournament, and then the top 16 teams in overall points after that will advance. So that means we could have 8 or 9 teams from one group qualify through, girl.
Yeah, which is honestly crazy to see. We don't normally have this format, but the most deserving players will be there in our finals next Saturday and Sunday.
Absolutely. It's the best part about it. Round robin, group stages in a BR and in competitive Apex. Are you kidding me? John Nelson, the commissioner of the ALGS, alongside Ghostiyami, Shaheen, Tabrice, and the entire team, Vivi, and everyone else working on competitive Apex, they put together an absolute treat for the championships. We have 4 groups all competing against one another. This is Group A versus Group B. And keep in mind, for those watching at home, we have Groups C and D live on Nicewig's stream right now. So if you want to check out that action, make sure to get both tabs open and keep them open. You can keep up on all things Apex. We got Complexity. We got G2 in their debut on screen. But guess what? We got TSM here, so don't you dare go anywhere, because TSM's dropping Fragment East uncontested as always.
Level 2.
They are indeed, but unfortunately for them, they're on triple white armors. They didn't get the luck of the draw in this game specifically. Oh, nope, Hal did indeed find a blue armor, and they will have the beacon to scan later on. Now moving on to FYP, they are also unlucky with their armors as well.
Yeah, just a game of bad luck and bad armor situation to start. We've all been there in ranked, that's for sure. Obviously not what you want to happen in the ALGS champion.
To land Skyhook/Trials area, because the loot there is good. And I believe there's 2 teams landing Skyhook and 1 team landing Trials, which left Refinery pretty open. And not too many people want to land on the outer skirts of the map, because it's really hard for those rotations to get those perfect spots. Yep. And here we see some crypto action, NRG on top of the train tracks, and they may be getting pushed here.
5 cryptos on the map. The current crypto meta is obviously difficult to play against and been pretty popular. A lot of crypto in play in EU yesterday as well, so some early action. And then you mentioned Refinery as well. No one's dropping in Refinery. Well, guess what? That's Complexity land. Complexity pretty much dominates the north entirely, the northern side of the map, in Survey Camp over towards Refinery and Epicenter. And obviously they're not in this lobby. And that's what's really interesting about this format. You have teams playing against each other, and some teams that are absent that normally drop in certain areas, which means drop spots might be a little bit more contested than we're used to seeing, or in that case, a Refinery here in groups A and B, you might not see anyone dropping in certain locations. So as we qualify our best teams to the championships, it's really important to understand who's dropping where. We'll keep you all updated with that. As Girl and I, we've had a chance to cast a little bit of Apex Legends before, and we're familiar with these teams, their different playstyles.
And as you see on the screen here on the map, the zone is going to be pulling towards tree, launch site, sorting factory, and will probably continue to pull south. So gaining a spot near tree, launch site, and sorting factory will be good. If you play sorting factory, you could potentially gatekeep other teams coming in late, but then you'll have a rougher rotation later on. And if you're playing tree right now, you should be safe to gain top 10 placement.
Yeah, that's a great point. And of course, thermal station nearby is usually a pretty safe drop for a tree finish as well. And that's another one. We don't really necessarily know who's dropping thermal station in this game. I didn't see it in the minimap because typically that goes to G2. Recently signed Aim Assist Squad. If you're a fan of former Solifida Aim Assist or the Aim Assist Controller Squad, be sure to show them some love. They got picked up by G2. They're playing, of course, as part of the Group C versus D matchup. They drop Thermal Station pretty much always uncontested, and right now it's wide open. And these teams know that, right? A lot of these free agent teams, if you're Kanaka's Pets, My Little Phonies, a lot of teams coming in who don't necessarily always qualify or auto-qualify for the Grand Finals, well, they know that they can take some of these open spots in these matchups, and that's why it's so important to watch film, study your opponents, watch scrims. I know a lot of pros were not streaming scrims for that reason, but because that way you know where you can land and what's going to be available based on the group matchups.
Yeah, so a lot of these teams have been playing scrims for the past week and a half, 2 weeks, and they've been able to play their Group A versus Group B, Group A versus Group C, Group A versus Group D. So these teams have already been able to decide which places they wanted to land, and currently the team in first place, ESA Black, is landing Thermal Station, as you're talking about earlier, so it is definitely a great spot to land.
Yep, wide open with G2 not being in this lobby, and guess what? As a result of that, they're in first place with 19 points. And by the way, you heard it from Christian Booknotes and family. Big shout out to every single one of y'all. They said, hey, our favorite player is Metro to go. What a story from Metro. Former collegiate football player for the Maryland Terps, had a significant back injury due to a car crash and decided to no longer play NCAA football and start competing in Apex instead. And what a story it's been for him. Story of adversity. Well, he's in first place right now with ESA Black, and he's the kill leader overall with 7 kills in Game 1. Metro from the East Coast off to a great start.
Wow, that is incredible. That is a lot of kills for a championships lobby, so shout out to him most definitely. Now moving on to Kanaka's Pets. They got a really, really nice game last game as well. They got 17 points, so they're definitely around the top. They land Skyhook, and they've definitely made their way across the map, trying to rotate as fast as possible because, as we know, getting that great position is almost everything. But they did a really great job last game, and I want to mention that they third-partied, they were aggressive, they won their 3v3s, and that's what got them so high in those points.
Yeah, Kanaka from Maui, Hawaii. I'm excited to see what he can do on board with Gibraltar right now. They're making the rotation, not getting this rotation for free necessarily this time around. As you said, they did a great job third-partying and picking their fights, making it to late game. And Kanaka's Pets, one of the youngest teams, average age of 21. Kanaka, 20 years old. Casellos, 22. And Fade, at 20 years old. Of course, Casellos and Fade, both from Greenville, Michigan. It's been fun to watch them compete. Both big fans of the Wingman. And they both actually qualified for the Texas Major. So way back, right, of course, before the COVID-19 pandemic shut things down, they qualified for one of our first major online tournament #1, our first major tournament. So they've definitely been in this situation before, despite maybe the fact that we haven't heard a whole lot from them in the LGS Summer Circuit and Co. We'll see what they can do. Meanwhile, on board of FYP, they find themselves in a skirmish here.
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't have the best armors to do a pull-off a 2v3 situation, but they're going to try. Presley goes down, and it's all up to Forrest to try and survive this. I don't believe it's possible to even clutch this, and he's getting shot by a team nearby. Survives with 1 HP. They spot him, and no, he goes down.
Meanwhile, in the kill feed, TSM wiping the whole squad there. That's 18 squads remaining, so 2 squads getting taken out. TSM gets 3 kills. So if you're a TSM fan, blow it up with the 3 letters in the chat. I want to see some TSM chants in the chat as we're watching Team Solo Mid off to a good start here. A little bit of a later rotation than we're used to seeing from TSM. They're typically one of the fastest rotating teams out of Fragment East. They took their time coming into Harvester, making sure they had the right rotation, and now they find themselves in a skirmish in Harvester. We've all been here before in ranked play. Harvester tends to kind of be an area where you see a lot of clustering on rotations, because there's a lot of real estate available for people to take, and TSM obviously is currently going through that as they took out one team. Let's see if they go for the second.
Yeah, they ended up getting a third party there, but they got out and they got out safely. And that's the whole idea is when you get into a 3v3, none of you want to go down because once you go down, the third party will come and finish you off. Good for them that it was a clean wipe. They were able to get back together, and then when the third party did come, they weren't able to do anything.
That's right. As things slow down here a little bit, girl, you know, I talked about TSM, typically early rotating, but that's one of many play styles. What type of play styles do we typically see, or what are some different play styles that teams have in Apex Legends? Talk to me a little bit about that.
I've been noticing today that a lot of the pressure is on. So for a lot of the top teams, they're making small mistakes, and it's, I don't know, it might be holding them back. But game 2, after game 1, not doing so well, game 2, their confidence is back. They're going to be back at their top level play, and they're going to be a little bit more aggressive. There are those crypto teams, so there's 5 crypto teams in this match today, and those teams are more likely to play passive because they get that zone that to scan the beacon with the crypto. They get that zone knowledge before anyone else, and they get to rotate. So those teams are more passive throughout the game, and teams with an Octane player are normally aggressive. They will third party you in a split second and take all of your money.
You hit the nail on the head. You have, you know, teams that like to run crypto, for example. They play a little bit more recon focused. Back in the day, a lot of Pathfinder teams were more recon, play for intel, play a little slower, a little more passive. And then you got fighter teams, right? Teams that like to play Bloodhound, teams that like to play Octane. They're fighter teams. Then you also have survivalist teams. Back in the day, of course, when Watson was a really popular competitive meta legend, you'd have teams that would, you know, try to survive, rotate as quick as possible. A lot of crypto teams are also kind of survivalist teams, early rotations, and those are kind of different play styles. But then there's also, you know, whether you play for early rotate fast off of your initial drop spot, or you play the edge of the ring, where you like to play for kills. Typically, the aggressive fighter teams like to play edge, like Complexity, like Aim Assist, now known as G2 Esports. Meanwhile, teams that like to play for survival or for early rotation will typically play center circle or rotate early.
Absolutely, and we're still looking at Kanaka's pets. You may have seen the armor swap a little bit earlier, and that's because Kanaka has a triple take, will be able to farm that Evo shield into a purple, and now they're just playing edge.
That's right. We'll keep an eye on them. They've been more of the edge fighter team. As you said it girl perfectly, they've been third-partying a lot of fights in game number 1. But meanwhile, NRG, our winners of the Winter Circuit, are going to get shut down here by 2 brains, 1 controller. That's Tech, one of the most outspoken players in the Apex community, very vocal on Twitter, great personality. They take out the reigning champs in NRG. Kudos to them, but they did lose Slurpee G, so it's going to be all up to Peach and Tech in a 2v.
A great thing about having a crypto on your team is that they can recover the banner quite easily and also revive you quite easily. So maybe once they find the best moment, or have they already? I believe they've already plugged in the respawn, so their teammate is going to come down from the sky. TSM will want to try and farm that, but no, unfortunately the shots don't hit, and he's going to be able to survive and grab all of his loot again. And TSM sniped down, taking in a lot of damage from a scout from the distance, but is able to survive with his team. No danger at all.
Yeah, that's always a little risky in late game, right? Because that's could be a free kill point for any team that just decides to focus that individual. But nice job. Great revive. Meanwhile, Absolute Monarchy. A load of them. They find themselves in a fight. Good first shots coming through on Monty. They're going to actually get the kill to start. All 3 of them still alive and well. And we know there's at least 1 or 2 other individuals on the team nearby. And it looks like the 3 members of Absolute Monarchy playing so well as a team will win this 3v3.
It's so nice to be able to get that first kill in a team fight, because then you can thirst them, armor swap, and then there's almost nothing to lose. Helping's just trying to stay alive for as long as he can, but unfortunately there's so many teams around him. I don't believe he'll be able to stay alive much longer.
Yeah, and it's going to be Team XD with Helping last alive here. A few Caustic teams that we see in game. In fact, we have 3 teams playing Caustic. We saw 3 teams yesterday in our EMEA lobby playing Caustic, 1 in the other lobby, so 4 total. But Caustic still played despite the nerfs. Caustic's certainly still viable. Overall, is Helping just going to try and rat his way to success here using a thermite for good measure just to stay alive a little bit longer. One thing I saw, though, was TSM. Very well positioned. I love the way TSM's playing this rotation. Kudos to them. They're off to a good start as we jump back on board with Kanaka's Pets, our standout team, breakout team of game number 1. We've been talking about them and how great they've played. Very, very aggressive. Let's go ahead and jump into a listen and see what's working out so well for them.
Look, they have a purple swap.
Look, we can do 3, 2, 1 them.
Okay. 3, 2.
Ready?
They give me. 3, 2, 1, shoot. 54 burp. Push. He's low.
Careful, I'm gonna charge rifle from the
Good,
left.
good. Yeah, good.
Is he behind
Just-
this rock?
I have no idea.
Wait, maybe we can move up on that. Maybe?
No, only you could Cole.
Hey,
We'll get walked up behind. We'll get walked up behind the trailer team. I guarantee you.
They have a really good head glitch.
Not worth.
That's the problem.
We don't want to die. We just need to worry about getting in. This is a hard zone, and there's not a lot of cover.
I know. I'm looking around. Maybe we play for KP or something.
I feel like
We
we
could.
should go over there to the left.
You think so? Okay.
Shoot them on the bridge.
Did we do it late or early though?
Hold on, move up to Cole for now. We
Yeah,
have to see what we
they
can
moved
get
down
away
the
with.
bridge.
Just you
thing
gotta
is,
be
they're
careful
not-
of the trailer team. We don't want to get shot in the back.
There's oh, dude, so many people.
Let's
are
just
gonna
see
die
how
this
far
game.
we
I
can
know.
go.
So many teams die in this zone. If like
Can we go
No,
bridge?
they're all fighting. Yeah, get
We
on
go
bridge.
bridge?
Get on bridge.
Okay,
I don't know. They might be up here, so we might need a
okay,
bubble. Careful.
yeah. Stay close.
No
Stay
scan.
close.
They could be up here, but no scan close.
Play close.
They're up
If you
they're
take a
up
lot of
here.
damage,
They're
I'm
over here.
bubble.
They're up here. They're not over here.
Okay. Shoot the Gibby. Gibby saw us. Gibby. I'm ulting them. I'm ulting them.
I got a bat.
I naded. I ulted them too. They bubbled.
Dumped up. Careful.
Watch out. Don't push that.
I know.
I bubbled them and we
They're on
pushed.
this side.
Push now. Push now. Close. The bubble goes down. The bubble goes down.
He's burning.
The bubble goes down first. The bubble goes down first.
You naded.
Don't let the Maybus. Don't let the Maybus.
I'm destroying them.
I got
I'm
cracked
sorry,
by my push.
Nice. One down. One down.
I'm betting.
Put together. They're getting shot in the back. They're getting shot in the back. Do not get down. Do not get down. You don't have to do much. Put on being. Put on destroying. Heal.
I'm betting.
Reset.
I am.
Reset.
Don't let him drop
Do not
us,
stop
he dropped
chopping.
us,
Stopping.
I'm playing out back.
They're getting
Hold on, I'm
destroyed by
healing.
other teams.
I'm healing. Don't have the
Yeah,
rush
yeah,
things.
They died to other teams. Sounded like.
Okay.
Do you have
don't
port coal at all? Look for old except we
I
can
have
get under
4
there.
and 30.
That's
You
the
have
only way.
Alxel? You have Alxel?
No.
Go. Do you want to pop balloon maybe? No. I think we
Someone
play down
under
here.
us.
Yeah, someone's
What
on
else?
this. Portal. Watch the portal.
Come to me.
We're not in zone.
I think we go down here or
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's a
I have
team on
one
the card.
still. There's and
You
there's
wanna drop? Let's drop.
I guess
Just
so.
drop, just drop,
Just
just drop.
push these kids in, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm bubbling on the door. Wait.
It's one.
Push him. It's one. Push him.
He ran out.
We're not in zone, and
We gotta get to the
we can
rocks.
play
Get to the
here.
rocks.
I think, no, we
Yeah,
can play
portal,
there.
Get to the rocks.
We gotta
No,
go
get to
full.
the rocks.
I don't
Right
have a bubble for 30. I don't have a bubble for 30.
120.
Yeah,
120. Oh no.
Push in.
Just go forward. Go here if you can. Just go here.
Cole, just stay alive. That's all you right now. Get to him, Cole, and we have to shield him. Just heal Cole. You're good. There's a team on your left on your bubble. Just
I know,
stay
I
alive
know,
as long
I
as
know.
possible.
Honestly, one of the best listen-ins I think we've had in ALGS history there. We heard so much, the comms, the teamwork, the 3v3 team fight coordination, but unfortunately, the rotation just did not go their way, girl.
It did not. They were expecting a full team in that trailer, which is why they didn't use Portal. And because there was only one person, their rotation was really late. That one person was holding the doors, so their rotation was really late, unfortunately for them, and they weren't able to find a spot in zone.
And they also used bubble, their Gibby bubble
Yeah.
in that fight as well. So utilizing all their resources, that means they had no resources on the rotation. They ended up getting taken out. But meanwhile, we got CLG, Counter Logic Gaming, the winningest team in North America, at least since ALGS was announced. 4 tournament wins for CLG, the former Skirt roster, starting with online tournament number 5. They, of course, won the Summer Circuit. They won Summer Circuit online tournament number 4, the PGL Showdown, and Winter Circuit online tournament number 2. Counter Logic Gaming has been great, girl.
They certainly have been, and they made it all the way from Skyhook all the way over here. But moving on to ranked is harder. 0+ just trying to get the thirst because he knows he won't be able to get the full team wipe. And now ESAA Red is getting third-partied as well. So Rakanishu trying to go inside the zone to survive a little bit longer. Will they be able to find him? Yes, they do. And they are dead to ESA Black, our first place team kill leader with 5 kills on Panders right now.
You gotta be kidding me. That's on top of Metro's 7 from last game. ESA Black continues to roll here. And you know, 6, a champion in the past alongside Nicewig. He has looked to pop off. Former member of the Pittsburgh Knights. We're on board CLG now. They find themselves in a 3v3. Get some good shots, and they're actually going to take out ESA Black. CLG wins that skirmish.